Peace, family. Peace, peace, peace. Welcome back to the Campaign TV show. I am your host, brother King Cam. Y'all already know what to do. What we're going to do is we're going to open up this show with a new single, new song coming from my brother Splacho Desi. I think it's very, very apropos for the time that we living in right now. But I want you to do these three things. I want you to like, share, and I want you to subscribe if you're joining in from my YouTube side, family. So that's what I want you to do. We got a special guest lined up for us tonight. Wa alaikum salam. The chat is live, family. So peace and blessings to everybody that's coming in to the chat. Also, Ramadan Mubarak to all the believers that's going to be tapped in. So listen, I'm going to drop this for you real quick. Make sure y'all share.
I was brought up in, quote, Bedford-Stuyvesant in my town. But I would like to say what scares us is I think we hear violence.
What you fear, and it's a deep guilt thing. White folks suffer. You are afraid that if we ever come to power, we will do to you and your fathers what you and your people have done to us.
Scary, ain't it? Hope all that fear that you living with was worth it. I gotta look like praising y'all God. He never showed us mercy. You and my dogs get praised to Allah. Paint a picture perfect sermon. They say they listen if you preach, but it's all about how you work. How would you feel if I put lashes across your back? Come beat your main thing from the back and look you dead up in your eyes and you can't say cause you ain't black. What type of chill that's gonna get? What type of kill gonna come get in you? That history you kicking. Number ridicule and cat. Bitch, we been up on the map. Been way too cool. We show you how to do this. What if I pull up to murder your family? But let you eat first. Then let them have. What if you was coming with nothing but love? And all for hate ain't got it in blood. Load up the blicker, then pick out your sister. Tell her you miss and call you a thug. What if I was mad every time you was smiling? And the only emotion I showed you was violence. Get beat if you beating and that nigga wild. And you working for free. But my money power. And you working for me. All of your hours. And for family. I'm shipping them out. Bitch, I sell you for free. Flexing my power. Bitch, I'm a divide and devour. Bitch, if I catch you at night all alone. Bitch, are you running and I send the hound. I hang you up, now you hanging around. Stripping your britches and cutting around. Pick your invention and say that it's mine. And do it again and again over time. The hate that I feel, the hate that I will. Yeah, I taught you. That's I'm teaching your kind. What if one day I said, nigga, you free? You can do you, but not better than me. And get your ass now. You land on your feet. You building up something. Better off without me. Your community bus. He never need me. And never be down scorching your street.
Peace, 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 family. What's going on, sister? Sister Rama Durant, what's going on? I'm in the chat right now, just shouting everybody out. Hey, what's going on, Sister Brenda? What's going on? What's up, Mom Dukes? Mom Dukes in the building. Peace and blessings to the family. Yeah. So we are ready, getting ready for this show. So I'm gonna hit y'all with that brother Ben real quick, that 400 years, family, as y'all come on in. Wa alaikum salam, brother. Sister Malika, what's going on? Check this out. This that brother Ben, 400 years. Tap in.
You willing to go back and cut no underbrush? We already did that once. If we have to do it again, that's not progress. Hell no. Get out of the cities and the towns that we helped you build. Go and find some other state to move in. You move out, we move in. Now wait a minute. You say, oh, come on, Farrakhan, that's a factory. Well, damn, you better put it in your pipe then.
400 years we've been lacking reacting. Ain't no more lacking reacting. We standing up now, we up at it, we at you. Now I go get it and stack it. Waking up now, we don't need no more trapping. Cause we know these niggas acting. They talk about guns, we know that they capping. We know they got it all rapping. 400 years we've been lacking reacting. Ain't no more lacking reacting. We standing up now, we up at it, we at you. Now I go get it and stack it. Waking up now, we don't need no more trapping. Cause we know these niggas acting. They talk about guns, we know that they capping. We know they got it all rapping. The youth don't need a stunt double. Introduce them to the real thing. Gotta tell him about the hidden hand. Real talk, that's the real pain. Introduce you to the white man. Think you made it, that's the real pain. Then I let you see a white snake and you can't see they the same thing. Get your bread, yeah, build your business. Hidden hand in the same lane. Keep a slaves in a small cell. Tell a young nigga bang bang. Shoot first, ask questions later. Two brothers in the same game. Fuck that like fuck crack. Big dog like a Great Dane. 400 years we've been lacking reactive. Animal lacking we active. We standing up now, we up at it, we at you. Now I go get it and stack it. Waking up now, we don't need no more trapping. Cause we know these niggas acting. They talk about guns, we know that they capping. We know they got it all rapping. 400 years we've been lacking reactive. Animal lacking we active. We standing up now, we up at it, we at you. Now I go get it and stack it. Waking up now, we don't need no more trapping. Cause we know that these niggas acting. They talk about guns, we know that they capping. We know they got it all rapping. 400 years in a living hell. Break chains, gotta break free. Do for self like Elijah said. Fire him before he fire me. Eat good, he the man of God. Ain't falling for the vaccine. Up late, playing, plotting freedom. Still building, no caffeine. Better tune in to Farrakhan, cause this here is a marathon. Build now, getting real now. Witness the fall of Babylon. Black man, you the first man. Getting tricked by mankind. If we unite and rise up, we'll win every damn time. 400 years we've been lacking reactive. Animal lacking we active. We standing up now, we up at it, we at you. Now I go get it and stack it. Waking up now, we don't need no more trapping. Cause we know these niggas acting. They talk about guns, we know that they capping. We know they got it all rapping. 400 years we've been lacking reactive. Animal lacking we active. We standing up now, we up at it, we at you. Now I go get it and stack it. Waking up now, we don't need no more trapping. Cause we know these niggas acting. They talk about guns, we know that they capping. We know they got it all rapping.
Pay me for my pain, yeah, pay me for my tears. Pay me reparations for all 400 years. All my people struggled and all my people feel. And now we come and taking everything while we give it some.
Come on, stop playing. All right, family. Peace, 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 and blessings. All right. Welcome to the Campaign TV show. That was Brother Ben X, 400 Years. If y'all haven't heard that new track, make sure y'all tap in. Y'all can get that from my brother website. All right. So listen, tonight we are going to be discussing, obviously, the guilty verdict that was just rendered in our brother George Floyd's vindication, if you will, against the devil that murdered our brother in cold blood. You understand? Now, as you can tell, there's a lot of people that are very, very happy that there was a guilty verdict. A lot of people that were happy that there was a guilty verdict, family. And the family, most of all, is what we are praying for this guilty verdict so they can have some semblance of closure. However, we understand that the buck doesn't stop here. It doesn't stop here, family. So this is what we want to discuss tonight. Also, we're going to be having our guest. She's going to be coming in shortly as well, where she's going to be discussing with us her thoughts and some of the other issues that's going on in the Black community as it pertains to Black leadership and Black influence. So that's what we're going to be discussing. So as we go ahead and wait on her to come in, family, we are going to be just talking about, I'm going to give my perspective on what I think as this guilty verdict has been held down, has been handed down, family. So if you could just give me a quick moment, because I need to switch out cameras. If you can just bear with me for a quick moment, family, and then we're going to go ahead and push on through with the show, family. So just bear with me for just a moment. All right, we're going to go ahead and drop this Splacho Desi track again, just in case y'all didn't hear it the first time. We're going to drop that one more time, and then we're gonna get into the show. All right, family?
I was brought up in, quote, Bedford-Stuyvesant in my town. But I would like to say what scares us is I think we hear violence.
Hold on, family. I might have that boom for y'all. Hold on. Let me see if I got the boom for y'all. I'm gonna drop that boom real quick. Let me see. No, I don't have the boom on here. All right. Y'all don't have the boom, but it's all good. Wa alaikum salam, family. Let me switch out this camera. Hold on.
I was brought up in, quote, Bedford-Stuyvesant in my town. But I would like to say what scares us is I think we hear violence.
What you fear, and it's a deep guilt thing. White folks suffer. You are afraid that if we ever come to power, we will do to you and your fathers what you and your people have done to us.
Scary, ain't it? We remember, you didn't touch. We remember, you didn't touch. We remember, you did to me. We remember how you wouldn't want. Hope all that fear that you living with was worth it. Fuck, I look like praising y'all God. He never showed us mercy. You and my dogs get praised to Allah. Paint a picture perfect, sir. They say they listen if you preach, but it's all about how you work. How would you feel if I put lashes across your back? Come beat your main thing from the back and look you dead up in your eyes and you can't say shit, you ain't black. What type of chill that's gonna get? What type of kill gonna come get in you? That history you kicking. Number ridicule and cat. Bitch, we been up on the map. Been way too cool. We show you how to do this. What if I pull up to murder your fam? But let you eat first, then let them have. What if you was coming with nothing but love and all for hate ain't got it in blood? Load up the blicker, then pick out your sister. Tell her you miss and call you a thug. What if I was mad every time you was smiling? And the only emotion I showed you was violence. Get beat if you beating and that nigga wild. And you working for free, but my money power. And you working for me, all of your hours. And for family, I'm shipping them out. Bitch, I sell you for free, flexing my power. Bitch, I'm a that bad and devour. Bitch, if I catch you at night all alone, picture you running and not in the home. I hang you up, now you hanging around, stripping your britches and cutting around. Pick your invention and say that it's mine, and do it again and again over time. The hate that I feel, the hate that I will, yeah, I taught you. That's I'm teaching your kind. What if one day I said, nigga, you free? You can do you, but not better than me. And get your ass now, you land on your feet. You building up something better off without me. Your community bust, you ain't never need me, and that made me jealous. Now I'm scorching your street, ain't shit you could tell us. I bet they won't catch us. Big by the boat, drop a bomb from propellers. Bitches, you bonkers, out of your mind. Bitch, I'm a trickster. Give me your shine. Fuck if you bleed, just how I bleed. Fuck how you feel, you still ain't my kind. And fuck how you feel, you heal over time. And fuck if you don't, I'm still dealing with mine. I can wet you and they still let me slide. Blaming disorder, condition for crime. Bet if you trying to give you some time, and even if not, still hit with the time. They get scared of success, condition your mind.
All right, family. All right. Thank you for sitting with me through those technical difficulties. I had to switch out the camera. We was having some issues, so I had to switch it out real quick. But we back now, so thank Allah for that, man. It is Ramadan. We will be tried with things, you understand? But we're gonna make sure that we keep it moving. The show must go on. All right. So listen, everybody know that they have just come down with the Derek Chauvin guilty verdict, guilty on all charges, family. Guilty on all charges. Okay? A lot of our people, and rightfully so, are feeling like we got to win today. A lot of our people are feeling like that we got to win today because we have had the opportunity to see at least one of the black lives that was slain receive some symbol of justice, okay? Receive some type of relief, receive some type of corrective action to those who took the life unjustly, okay, family? So today has been a fairly rough day because a lot of people was on eggshells, a lot of people was stressed out, a lot of people didn't know how it was going to go, if it was going to be, riots in the street, because we had to go through this same thing over and over again. And one thing about trauma is that the repetition of it implants it in the mind. So now, as it damages the mind, it begins to damage the physical body. So when it damages the physical body, the psychological effect that it has on the physical body, it begins to show outwardly. So it's similar to those who've had bad experiences with police officers. So now every time you get pulled over, your heart starts beating fast. Your hands start shaking. You may start sweating or perspiring or whatever the case may be. And that's a physical response that's triggered from a emotional trauma. So every time before this one, we have always been of the mindset that there should be a guilty verdict, because most of these, correction, all of these, we should have received justice on and by way of a guilty verdict. So I'm not of the opinion that any of the cases were in a position for there not to be a guilty verdict, family. I just got to keep it 100. I got to tell it like it is. That's just how I feel. And most of the times, based on the evidence, based on the facts of the case, that's absolutely correct. And what we have to know and understand is that prior to this, we have been used to really not winning. You know, we've been catching L's in that department. So today was a good day for those of us who sought some vindication through this justice system. So we're not going to sit up here and act as if today wasn't a step forward. But I also want to say this, that today is not justice. Today is not the end. This is not the end all be all. And what I want to, lay on our minds is that we cannot get comfortable. We can't get comfortable with this being it, because we should not have to get to this point for there to be a justice. See, the Honorable Minister Louis Farrakhan said that the principle of that justice is the principle of fair dealing. So if we all should be treated as equal, even though that's not what the Constitution says. The Constitution is talking about a particular group of people because it was a particular group of people who wrote the Constitution. Who said that all men are equal? Well, it wasn't talking about us because we wasn't considered men. Definitely wasn't considered whole human beings at the time of the Constitution being written in its inception. So those who wrote those words was not talking to us. But theoretically speaking, in 2021, if we all are supposed to be equal and should receive equality, then justice means that we all should receive a fair shake. We all should receive fair treatment. And that means that you should treat me as I treat you. See? That's how we should operate. Principles of fair dealing. That's justice. You don't cheat me, I won't cheat you. You don't rob me, I don't rob you. You don't try to kill me, I don't try to kill you. Principles of fair dealing. So today was a good day in the realm of criminal justice, but we have to also keep in mind that this cannot continue to happen. And more so of just getting the emotions, getting the thoughts out and around what happened today, but also we have to discuss moving forward, what are some solutions, right? Because we got to be solution-based. A lot of the times we talk about the problem, but we have to start to give some solutions so that our people can act. The Honorable Minister Louis Farrakhan back on 10-10-15 asked for 10,000 fearless, right? To come, get trained so that you can go stand between the gangs, stand between the guns, stand between the violence in your community, and start to correct some of the conflict and create what? Conflict resolution centers in our own communities to make them safe and decent for our women and children. The Honorable Minister Louis Farrakhan called for that 10-10-15. So now, because of our unwillingness to heed that call 6 years ago, we find ourselves in this position today with numerous names, whether it's Ahmaud Arbery, whether it's Freddie Gray, Sean Bell, Eric Gardner, Philando Castile, Sandra Bland, Tamir Rice. The list goes on and on and on. We find ourselves in this position today, Trayvon Martin. We find ourselves today in this position because of our unwillingness to heed the call of the Honorable Minister Louis Farrakhan to make our own communities a safe and decent place to live. So if we have not heed the call for to make our own communities a safe and decent place to live, then what do you expect our open enemy to do? What do you expect our open enemy to do? What do you expect to go on? Because we know the history. And one thing that one of the brothers that had been in law enforcement for a very long time, he was on CNN giving some analysis, giving some commentary, and he talked about the history of policing. And he said that they don't teach the history of policing in the academy. So if they don't teach the history of policing in the academy, then those young police officers that come in, they come in with a certain type of mindset, depending on where they grew up, depending on what influenced them in their childhood, depending on everything that's going on psychologically, is going to determine how they handle the people in the community. See, the police are supposed to be public servants. They're supposed to serve the public, right? And you have plenty of police officers that serve honorably, that go to work every day with a heart for the community. But then there are those who come with a different agenda. There are those who have the badge, the gun, the souped up car, and the sense of entitlement that leads to unforgivable actions that we saw, such as with Derek Chauvin. This is what we saw. So, again, we pray for the family of our brother George Floyd, because really this was one that could not be denied. If you came back not guilty with this, then there was a serious, blatant disrespect, benign neglect of human life, but more specifically, Black life. You cannot have a man handcuffed and subdued on the ground, not being able to move, and have a police officer with his knee in his neck for over 9 minutes, they say. And not bring back a guilty verdict. Family. I mean, it's really no way that you could even, there's no way you can explain that. You can't explain that to the people. You can't explain that to the media. You can't explain that to the hundreds of millions of people that saw the video went viral, family. Let's figure out how we're going to explain this to the people. It's no way to do it. You understand? So this had to happen because there had to be an example made. So you know how when you have a football team, those of us who coach football teams or basketball teams have been in sports, or even as a parent, and you have multiple children. When there's one that is out of line and continues to constantly be out of line, then what happens is you have to make an example out of that one so that the rest of them don't think it's okay to continue to behave in that manner. Am I making sense? See? So you have to make an example out of that one. So growing up in a Black household, like many of us did, we grew up in a Black household, and your parents, you understand me? If you got two out of line, depending on your mother and your father, they went ahead and made an example out of you for your brothers and sisters. They go ahead and wear you out. Wear you out in public, wear you out in private. Didn't matter. But they made an example out of you so that the rest of the siblings would know, hey, listen, we are not going to tolerate disrespect. We're not going to tolerate certain things, certain behaviors. We're not going to tolerate any of that. So they had to make an example. And today, they had to make an example out of Derek Chauvin because he had to be the poster boy. There's always one. And white supremacy doesn't mind making examples out of their own. Please believe. They don't mind making examples out of their own. But certain things they can't stand to happen because, see, they studied the Watts riots. See, as Keith Ellison mentioned in his press conference, and he talked about the coroner report and how it broke down riots starting in the 1900s, all the way up early 1900s, 1919, I believe, going all the way up to the Watts riots, and then up into the Detroit riots. You know, all of these different situations where there has been outcry, outpouring, explosions of black males standing up for their communities. Now, they make it sound like people are rioting and, you know, destroying, and people are out acting like savages. But at the core of the riots and the rebellions and the uprisings is the oppressed coming out from up under the oppressor. Talk to me. Yes, Miami as well. The oppressed coming up out from under the oppressor. So Thomas Jefferson said that, and I'm paraphrasing, but that God's justice won't sleep forever. His wrath won't sleep forever. See, the oppressed cannot continue to be oppressed. The oppressor cannot continue to oppress other people and don't believe that justice is going to be served. See, justice has to be served. It might not come in the time that you think. But Thomas Jefferson said this. He said, I fear. You know, I tremble when I think that God is just. Huh? See, the God is gonna be just because it's written. Huh? It's written already, family. It's written in here. See? It's written in here. Genesis 15:13. The God comes to Abraham and tells him, say, hey, listen. Say, hey, listen. I'm coming. 400 years. In 400 years, after 400 years, I'm coming. But your seed is going to be a slave in a strange land to a strange people. But after that, I'm coming to judge those who enslaved you. Talk to me. Hit the chat. Talk to me. The God told Abraham, you got 400 years of oppression, slavery. But after that, I'm coming. I'm not sending a prophet. I'm not sending nobody that's coming in my place. No, I'm coming. And what I'm going to do when I come is I'm going to raise one myself. I'm going to teach them myself. I'm going to teach them the book, the wisdom, the gospel. I'm going to teach them all of that myself. The Torah. I'm going to give it all to them. I'm going to give them the understanding. I'm going to raise one up from among his own people. One up from the enslaved. One up from the bottom rail who has to be first now. Come on. See, you ain't read the book right. You ain't been reading the book right. You looking 2,000 years behind you. No, there's no historical record of nobody named Israel or Jews being enslaved for 400 years. It's not written. It's no historical record of it. It's nowhere in Egypt. Nowhere. So that means that that part of the scripture has to be prophetic, not historical, prophetic, which means it's a future people. And the only people that fit that criteria is that of the black man and woman in America. The black man and woman in America. Okay? Understand now. Follow me. Because God has to be just now. See, so you can't continue to whip, beat, rape, destroy a people and don't think that God is not going to exact his justice in time. See, we work on our own time, but we don't on the same time as the God. Because see, when the God comes to judge, oh, it's a different type of judgment. See, it's different. We get all upset. We get rowdy. We break up stuff. We break into stores. We steal. You understand? We do all of that kind of stuff. But it's different when the God is on the scene. See? Because when he comes, he's coming to judge those, and he's going to be justified in his judgment of those based on what they did. So what he does is he raises one from the oppressed as a messenger and as a warner to help those that are going to be judged. Give them guidance so they can get back on the right path. Repent for your sins so God may have mercy on you. Because he is forever merciful and forgiving. But if you don't, you will have earned your destruction. Do you follow me? And I wanted to make this point, family, because it's our time now. And this is what you see. The changing of the gods. 6,000 years, the Caucasian had the rule. He built the world off one book of mathematics. Did a fairly good job with it. You understand? And listen, family. We have to... I'm going to keep going because we're going to rock the show regardless. But our guest had some other things come up because she's actually with the family right now, with the George Floyd family right now. So we're going to reschedule. We're going to be rescheduling her appearance on the show, inshallah, tomorrow or later on this week. So I will be speaking with her tonight after she finishes running with and being with the George Floyd family. So I wanted to make that clear so people wouldn't be wondering if she was coming on, if she wasn't coming on. So wanted to definitely make that clear. So she is hung up right now. So she did text me and let me know that she wanted to reschedule. So inshallah, I will be putting that out on my social media platform, Facebook and Instagram, where we will be rescheduling this hopefully for tomorrow. Hopefully for tomorrow. So just wanted to let everybody know. But back to my point, because we're going to handle this. We're going to talk about the changing of the gods, the paradigm shift. We're going to talk about it. Because that's what you're seeing now. Most of us was kind of on the rocks. We didn't know that we was going to get a guilty verdict this time around. But we got to follow through now. Don't get comfortable. Don't get complacent. Don't think just because, we got the guilty on all 3 charges that's it. No, we got to follow through on the sentencing. And then we have to follow through on solutions after all this is blown over. Because don't forget, we got a whole nother case. Brother Dante. I think that's his name. Brother Dante Wright. That was just murdered in Minnesota. Minnesota don't have no time to rest. They don't have no time to just be chilling. They got a whole nother case they got to get ready for that just happened. And if you don't know what I'm talking about, we're talking about the brother who was pulled over for the quote unquote expired license tags and a air freshener in the window, in his rear view, on the rear view. And then it was found out that he supposedly or allegedly had a warrant. And then the brother jumps in the car trying to flee from the police. And the police officer mistakens her gun for her taser. Now, again, another clear-cut situation. Sister has been on the police force for 26 years, and that day she forgot which side the taser was on, which side the gun was on. So Minnesota got a whole nother case that they got to get ready for. And this is what I'm talking about. We got George Floyd. Boom. Okay, what's next? Now we got to get ready to go. We got to start racking up these W's now. We got to start racking up these W's, applying pressure to those who are in charge of applying justice to those in the wrongdoing. But also, we got to start thinking about, okay, how can we get involved in our community? So I want to bring up the dope busters because it's a very, very important thing to talk about when it talks about police in our community. Because in the DC area, and this was back in the early 90s, the Metropolitan Police was not able to handle the crime in Mayfair Mansions and other of the housing projects in that area. And that was considered the highest drug area at the time. Am I lying? Go look it up. Mayfair Mansion, Washington, D.C. Rayford Edmonds used to sell and move his drugs through that area. Rayford Edmonds, and y'all might have seen the documentary on Rayford Edmonds. All right? Big time drug dealer in D.C. Well, again, Metropolitan Police was not able to handle the crime. The children and old people was not able to go outside because of the crime, because of the violence, because of the drugs. So the Muslims in that area, shout out to Muhammad Mosque number 4. The Muslims in that area, see, with brother student minister Sharif Abdul Muhammad, who is now the Southern Regional student minister, the Southern Regional minister for the South, under the Honorable Minister Louis Farrakhan, was in D.C. and they went into Mayfair Mansion and began to clean up the community. Because when the brothers came out, the drugs went in. When the brothers came out with the paper, all the violence stopped. When the brothers came out, all of the elderly and the children came outside because they felt safe. Come on now. Come on now. Look at the power of the Muslims. When we come out, the crime cease. So what the people started to see, and what the people started to observe, in particular, the apartment management, was that when the Muslims came, the drug dealing stopped. So he eventually asked Minister Sharif, how much do we need to pay you all to come and secure our community? How much do you charge to clean up or to do security in our community? And that's how NOI security started. By cleaning up our community, by volunteering our time, and by doing what we do as Muslims, come and we bring in love, peace, harmony to our people, talking with our people. That's how NOI security started. That's how we was able to clean up the community and actually be more successful than the DC Capitol Police. Excuse me, not Capitol, Metropolitan Police. In that area, there's articles written about this. There's articles written about this. If you think I'm lying. The Muslims went in. Then they went in and they did another apartment complex. But the word spread so fast and so far. And it was so miraculous of the job that was happening and the cleanup that you saw, the transformation that you saw. It got all the way to government officials where we was able to now secure government public housing contracts to secure our own communities. Patrol cars, 24-hour patrols. You understand me? Final call newspapers, bean pies, fruit cups. You know what we coming with. You know the vibes. So we were successful in making our community safe and decent. Had no issues for the most part. Now, there was a little bit of the runners with the hard heads, and we had to fight with those that fight with us. As you know, that's what we're taught. But nobody was killed. Nobody died. And we was creating jobs through NOI security because now we was able to employ our young brothers coming into the ranks, young brothers that needed jobs just in general, Muslim or non-registered Muslim. If you needed a job, we was providing. Brother Minister Nuri used to work for NOI security. See, this is how you stimulate your economy. This is how you begin to make jobs for your people, right? By creating a solution and assessing that problem, then you create a company that provides a solution. Boom! Now you creating jobs. Talk to me. Now you creating jobs. Okay, so this is what we were doing with NOI security back in the early 90s, and then what happened is that the ADL got a whiff of what was going on, and because the company was NOI security, they went on a propaganda attack and surveillance of NOI security. All of the officials, all of the people in management, leadership, all of it. I actually have, let me see if I got it. I don't have it sitting around. Oh, no, hold up. Oh, I got it right here. It's a whole report. It's a whole report. Check this out. See? The fact-finding report by the ADL, federal funds for NOI security firms, financing Farrakhan's Ministry of Hate. So when those of you like to say, why the Nation of Islam don't have nothing going on, why they not doing nothing, you don't understand how powerful our enemies are, and they fear the rise of the black man so much that they work each and every time out as hard as they can to destroy everything that we do. That's why it's so important that it's just not the nation doing it. It has to be all of Black America supporting the effort so that even when the enemy steps in, they can't disrupt what we got going on. They can't disrupt it if we all pitching in. If we all a part of it, they can't stop it. But then when it's just the little old Nation of Islam with the registered members, they come in, and then when we get hurdle we got to jump over, we catch, we're not able to continue and move the same way that we was moving. Then y'all come, the same people we trying to serve, and say, well, where y'all niggas was at? Why y'all won't over here? Why y'all won't over there? I don't see no businesses over here. I don't see nothing over here. All y'all do is talking this and that. That's what y'all do. Not fully understanding. So we don't really get on you that bad because we understand that it's out of ignorance, but still, we got to start reading more. So, like I said, I'm gonna read some of this too, so it can get some context, family. I had to pull this out of the archives, but this right here is the report that the ADL put together to help dismantle NOI security after we was providing employment for our people. Now I'm gonna read you the introduction. It says the Nation of Islam claims to have created employment for blacks, to offer inner city housing residents new hope, and to emphasize a message of self-reliance, hard work, and clean living. That's what they say we claim to do. Y'all know our resume. This is the ADL speaking though. In reality, the Nation of Islam remains a mirror image of the Ku Klux Klan. That's what they said about us. Preaching a literary in which Jews are bloodsuckers, whites are devils, and separate states for races are imperative. A de facto arm of the group reaps millions in income from public contracts, animating concern that taxpayers are subsidizing a ministry of hate. Now, this is what they said about us. Taking the taxpayers' money, subsidizing a ministry of hate. Okay? So what I would suggest that we do is now we need to go and ask them, well, what are you doing with our tax dollars? United States government, ADL, Southern Poverty Law Center. What are you doing with the tax dollars of the people? Because we see clearly up until George Floyd that the tax dollars that are used to pay the police was not going towards our best interest. Public servants, fire department, police department, ambulance, street repair, public schools, all that stuff falling to pieces with our tax dollars that you have been collecting, and you have the nerve to talk about the Nation of Islam funding a ministry of hate, when in fact the truth is that we did provide employment for our people. We did clean up the community. We did see a drop in crime rate. You did have people bearing witness to the fact that they felt safe now because the Nation of Islam was in the community patrolling, having the Final Call newspaper, raising the consciousness of the people. No, you don't want the consciousness of the people raised. Huh? That's what, you don't want the consciousness of the people raised. Because see, when we raise the consciousness of the people, then they begin to see. They won't be blind no more. And then that's the unmasking, the unveiling of Satan. So now they can see you for who you are. Huh? Talk to me. They knew we was getting contracts. See? Even those in government felt that and could see the improvements that was happening. It says the Nation of Islam's vaunted security business, hailed by supporters as a savior of inner city public housing projects and an example of the group's good works. That's what they said about us. That we have people, supporters in the inner city that hailed the work that we was doing as saviors and said it was an example of our good work. See? So even in this report, they bear witness to what the people were saying. You ever notice how Satan will double talk himself? He done mixed truth with falsehood so much that he do it even when he trying to, when he trying to character assassinate people. He'll throw the truth in there. Now, I don't know if it's on accident or what, but he throw the truth in there while he throwing his falsehood around. And that's what happened. See? So you have to understand that this was a coordinated effort. This is a coordinated effort. Let me show you this. They got a whole page listing offices in different states because this had expanded into different states. They heard about the good work that we was doing in DC under Student Minister Sharif Muhammad, right? The good work that was being done in DC is spread across the East Coast. So we had NOI security in Pennsylvania, DC, which was the main office, Texas. It was even on the West Coast in California, Maryland, New York City, Ohio. See, we was catching fire. So now we changing lives in many states. We transforming the lives and the state and conditions of housing projects all over the country. We had contracts with Holiday Inn. We had contracts with UPS. We was doing all type of good works, providing an economic base. Ain't that what y'all say? Ain't that what the black nationalists talk about? Providing a economic base. So we was providing the economic base. And then what did they do? The enemy did what? Picked up the phone. Got on the phone with Holiday Inn. Got on the phone with UPS and told them, if you continue to do business with Farrakhan, if you continue to support Muhammad, we pulling out all our conferences out of the Holiday Inn Hotel. We pulling out all of our business through UPS. This is what they do. So the ADL, COINTELPRO in the 90s, this is a list of the companies where they were in the state, the officers, the aliases, the rank in NOI, and income to date. This COINTELPRO. The same thing they did with Malcolm. I want y'all to see that. That's an NOI Security Empire. They got a whole list. A whole list right here. It says that we had 8 security firms have done business in Washington, D.C., Los Angeles, Chicago, Pittsburgh, Philadelphia, New York City, Buffalo, New York, Baltimore, Dayton, Ohio, and Dallas, Texas. See? And look at them. They said the companies present a complex picture. While all are separately incorporated, almost all share the same or similar names or use names interchangeably, have overlapping offices, or have subcontracting arrangements with one another. At least six are under the direct control of senior Nation of Islam officials. Several NOI officials use different names on different sets of incorporation papers, further complicating discussion. This is COINTELPRO. They all up in your business, all up in our business, while we trying to clean up our community. We ain't bothering nobody. We ain't messing with white folks. We ain't messing with quote unquote Jews. We ain't bothering nobody. We in the black community handling black business. Here you come, running a report. Got all our information on here. Worrying about our subcontracting the arrangements that we have with one another. That's called nepotism. We doing what you do. We doing what you do. We hiring our people. We plugging in our everybody. That's what you're supposed to do. That's going to work. So it says the chart below shows sets of out the names of the company. The chart below sets out the names of the companies, where they do business, the names of security company officers, other names used by the officers, and those officers' ranks in the Nation of Islam. See? So, as you can see, there was an effort in the 90s from the Nation of Islam to go into our community and make it a safe and decent place to live, and we were successful at doing so. And then the enemy attacked us, as I was proven through the documentation, because this is their report that they wrote as they dismantled the Nation of Islam security firms, and then took the Nation of Islam security firms to Congress. First security firm ever to go to Congress. Oh, that's in here. You can pull it up. It's on C-SPAN. Type in Nation of Islam, C-SPAN. You can Google it. You can't make this up. You can't make this up, family. So, and as you flip through this, it goes into all of the different things that they was trying to do as far as, trying to connect the dots, talking about FOI captains working for the company and all this other stuff. My whole thing is this: what business of it is it yours? It's not your business. What business is it of yours? You all in somebody else's business, trying to control, trying to dictate, trying to rule because you think you the boss. And that's where it boils down to. So this is why we teach there has to be a separation so that we can go off into our own state or territory of our own, get ourselves together, make our communities safe and decent, deal with the trauma that's, in black men, deal with the trauma that's with black women, deal with the trauma that we have in our relationship. We got a lot of repair to do within self. We don't have time to be messing with y'all. And then once we get ourselves together, then we can shop with you. But shop with your brother before you shop with another. That's code. That's just law. That's the only thing that we teach. See? Oh, we got a troll in the comment section on YouTube. So listen, this is another thing. I'm glad the God that led us on this. We knew we was gonna get to this anyway. So if you're just coming into the show, family, we're talking about the justice or the guilty verdict that was given for the Derek Chauvin case against our brother George Floyd. And as we talked about that, I was saying that we need to remain vigilant, and we need to also think about solutions so that we can make our own communities a safe and decent place to live, so we're not worrying about what the police are going to do for us. And I talked about the Nation of Islam and how we have worked to make our community a safe and decent place to live. And in the process of doing so, in the middle of our success, as we secured government contracts for different public housing, inner city public housing places in different cities, employing our own people, taking them off the street, stopping crime, reducing the drugs in the community, cleaning our people up, doing all that kind of good stuff. Then the ADL comes and create this report, which I have right here documented. You understand me? And they go about going to everybody that we had a contract with, UPS, Holiday Inn, and told them if they stop doing business with us, then they're going to go ahead and pull out. So all of their Jewish conventions, they was going to stop doing those in the Holiday Inn hotels if you continue to work with Farrakhan. Huh? They said to Mr. Bob Johnson, not Bob Johnson, that's BET, but the other Johnson that owned Ultra Sheen. The Honorable Minister Louis Farrakhan was going to create products, clean and fresh products, for us to be able to solve that problem, where we'll be able to have our own deodorants, our own soaps, toothpaste, things of that nature, products that we can use for ourselves, for upkeep, personal upkeep. And he was going to partner with Mr. Johnson on doing so. Mr. Johnson agreed. The minister had received a loan to start the business. He put the money in a black bank. The black owner agreed to house the money there. Then what happens is what? Mr. Johnson gets a call from his retail partners who just happen to be Jewish. And they tell Mr. Johnson, if you work with Farrakhan, we're not going to distribute your product on our shelves no more. Talk to me. Now, if you can prove I'm lying, we won't do no more podcast shows. If you can prove I'm lying, we won't do no more podcast shows. They came to Mr. Johnson, told Mr. Johnson, if you do business with Farrakhan, we're going to stop putting your products on our shelves. So I don't know what that sounds like to you, but to me, that sounds very anti-black for us to try to do something for ourselves and you threaten the man that you're doing business with to stop distributing his products because he's doing business with another black man. That just sound real. That just sound real anti-black to me. See, everybody always want to talk about anti this, anti that, but we got the receipts. We keep a couple receipts on us. We keep a couple receipts on us here. That way we ain't got to do no guessing games. We keep receipts. So we got it all here. This is a book full of quotes, from scholars and rabbis that documents the relationship, the secret relationship between blacks and Jews. So this ain't me talking. This ain't Farrakhan talking. This is Jewish scholars, Jewish rabbis, the Jewish encyclopedia. See? That's this. So if you won't get mad at what's in this book, in the other 2 volumes of this book, then you need to take that up with your brethren that said this, that testified against you in here. Don't get mad at us. We just reporting the facts. We keep a couple receipts. See? So listen, this is what they said. Listen to what they Yeah. Can you hear me? Can you hear me? Press one. Oh, okay. Oh, shoot. Can you hear me? Thank you, Brother Joshua. Yeah, they cut us off. They cut the whole thing off. They cut us off. They had this. They interrupted somehow. They interrupted the stream and cut off the connection to the internet. So it cut us off. It blacked us out. But we back, family. We back. And I'm gonna go ahead and close it. I'm gonna go ahead and close it down because we right at that time mark anyway. But I'm thankful for those of you who stayed with us as we went through some of those technical difficulties. So thank you for sticking with us, family. But as I was saying, see, and it reminds me of the scripture. And I was just listening to the minister talk about this scripture. And see, in the scripture that Jesus was casting out the devils that was in the woman, right? And they was cursing Jesus as he was casting them out. And they said, Jesus, why you persecuting us before time? Huh? Why you persecuting us before time? That's what the devils was saying as Jesus is getting them up out of the woman. And it reminded me of what's happening right now. See, when the truth comes, then falsehood vanishes. And see, the Satan can't take the truth. They can't take the light of truth. See, so all that exposing we was doing, thank you, Sister Janet. All of the receipts we had, all of that truth we was bringing, they couldn't take it. They was like, why you persecuting us during the time? So that's how you know that the Jesus is present in the world today, because truth is on the scene. And see, when truth comes, falsehood vanishes. So we knocking out the brains of falsehood, and they couldn't stand it. Their face was balled up. They had no rebuttals because we coming with facts. We not coming with opinions. We coming with facts. We got all the report here. You understand me? We got all the quotes here. So it's nothing else that they can really say. So because they couldn't rebut nothing that we had, they couldn't come back because all of their lies and stuff was being busted up. Then they said, we just gonna cut them off. How they did the minister. We just gonna cut them off. But see, you can't cut me off, because I'm following the Messiah. So our power is not attached to you or your social media platforms or your internet connections or any of that. See, we are backed by the living God in his Christ, the most honorable Elijah Muhammad, who is not dead. The minister said, I don't teach no dead Elijah. Huh? He's alive and in power. Allah, who came to us in the person of Master Fard Muhammad. Huh? In power today. And are backing the Nation of Islam and the Honorable Minister Louis Farrakhan. So we could care less about you trying to cut us off, because you really can't cut us off. Really can't do that. So I just want to go ahead and just wanted to come back on and let you know what was going on, family. Our sister Tamika Mallory had to reschedule. She was our guest for today. She is in Minnesota now, boots on the ground with the Floyd family. So she's moving around with them. So she was not able to come on. We're looking to reschedule for tomorrow. So stay tuned for that. I'm going to be putting that out on social media as well, because I found out doing the show, so I wasn't able to go ahead and put out the communication. But we will be trying to reschedule. I will be speaking with her tonight once she gets in, so that we can go ahead and reschedule her discussion with us for tomorrow, family. So I thank you all for your patience and for being with us tonight. And I would like to leave you in the greeting words of peace, as we say it in the Arabic language, of Assalamu alaikum.